Israel has already launched a limited ground operation. For now, only tanks and infantry has moved into Gaza. The aim is not just to take out Hamas terrorists, but also gather intelligence about hostages. Mind you, this invasion, whenever it happens, will be unlike any ground operation in the past. How's that? Take a look.
One of Israel's most famous TV shows, often depicting commando-style incursions into the Gaza Strip, are coming true in the real conflict. While the world sits on tenterhooks ahead of an expected ground invasion of the 41-kilometer-long patch of Palestinian territory, Israel's special forces have already begun surgical attacks in northern Gaza. India today has learned that Israel's ground invasion will be like nothing else it has done in the past. Let's take you step by step through how this is likely to play out. The Israeli Air Force on Monday struck 400 separate targets in northern Gaza, claiming to kill several military-style commanders of Hamas. With the Israeli fighters smashing target after target and depleting the ground alertness of the Hamas, the Israeli Special Forces received a brief window to move in. There is reason to believe that these Special Forces men will conduct lightning-fast, targeted strikes on Hamas operatives known to be hiding in civilian areas that the Israeli Air Force does not want to risk bombing. But it isn't just the commandos in action. Israel's formidable armored strength, a vast fleet of Merkava tanks and infantry vehicles also have their engines on, making tracks at Gaza's doorstep.
A limited ground offensive has already begun. But before that, I want to tell you that the last 24 hours have been among the most aggressive so far in this particular crisis. Israel Defense Forces, who I'm in touch with, say that they've struck 400 Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip in just the last 24 hours. They not only targeted rocket positions, but also an escape tunnel that was going towards the sea. Meanwhile, Israeli Defense Forces have entered the Gaza Strip in a small way with some tanks ready for an imminent invasion that the world is on tenterhooks about.
While official information is typically scant on specifics, it is safe to say that at least some tanks have already rolled into Gaza, though they remain at distance from the Gaza city, the first big urban center on the Strip when approached from the north. More tanks could roll in soon. India Today's reporters in southern Israel have found Israel's artillery regiments in non-stop practice firing mode, with shells likely to soon be aimed into Gaza. But Israel's enemy isn't to be taken lightly. Despite 18 days and thousands of bombs dropped, the Hamas continues to have the capacity to hit back. On Sunday, Hamas terrorists fired an anti-tank missile at an Israeli position, killing a young soldier. While Hamas anti-tank positions will prove a major challenge, with reason to believe that the group is still receiving arms from Iran, the big new threat that faces the Israeli army is armed drones. Hamas has demonstrated its ISIS-like use of grenade-dropping drones, which, if deployed in numbers, could devastate elements of the Israeli ground operation. Israel knows well that such a complex mission cannot be conducted only by tanks, and even those are at risk from missiles and mines. Under all of this is a vast network of Hamas tunnels that continue to largely be out of reach of Israeli strikes, possibly allowing Hamas to maintain a minimum capability even if its overground strength is decimated in the ongoing attacks. American intelligence via the CIA and military assets from the USS Gerald Ford aircraft carrier battle group are also lending a hand with airborne and ground intelligence for a prospective Israeli operation in Gaza. The biggest phase of this war may be dead ahead. With Shivarur on the Israel-Gaza frontline, Bureau Report, India Today.